FSF PopCast live show.
Hey,
Well, yeah. Well, welcome, kids and cadets. Welcome to the FSF PopCast. We have a lot of extra screens on with us tonight, and I'm very excited to have everybody here. We're going to talk some Trek tonight. Now, I need to tell you right here, right now, that if you haven't watched Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episodes 1 and 2, there will be spoilers. So if you have not watched them and you are allergic to spoilers, now would be the time to walk away.
That's all right. I got my EpiPen. We'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. However, if you're okay with spoilers and you want to get some really cool insights into Star Trek, that's why I brought my peoples here. And they're going to help us with some really cool Star Trek knowledge. But we're going to go around the room, say hello to everybody before we get talking the Trek. And we've got a gentleman here with us this is his first time visit. So Antonio, say hi to everybody and tell everybody about your pod and where they can find you.
Okay, hello. My name is Antonio Bustos. I am the showrunner for Terra Alpha, the audio drama. Terra Alpha, it's based on Shadows Over Soul tabletop setting by Tab Creations. So big shout out to those guys. They've been incredibly supportive in helping bring this to life. The show itself, it's a gritty sort of character-driven sci-fi drama about a colony ship that goes, off course on the way to humanity's new home. About 200 people wake up, systems are failing and no one knows really who's in charge or who to trust. There's mystery, horror, and a whole lot of emotional messiness in the middle of deep space. So if you're into Battlestar Galactica, The Expanse, or maybe even Snowpiercer, you'll probably vibe with it. So you can find the show on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much where or anywhere you listen, or check us directly on our website at thearcproject.net. Yeah.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Kathleen, did you ever have internet standards for conduct?
No.
Okay, good talk. All right.
But I have and they're delicious.
There you go. Robert, remind everybody of the awesomeness that is science fiction Remnant, please.
Yeah, we host the podcast Science Fiction Remnant, and we're all about the sci-fi. If it's sci-fi, we are going to talk about it. And we actually do real in-depth deep dives and kind of pull the science out of the science fiction. And we are, hopefully we get Gio joining in, but we are three. I'm like to call myself the sane one in the crew, but yeah, we're
not wrong.
We are a long format podcast, so be ready to pause.
Yeah, great thing about now. I always tell people if you're looking for there are podcasts that say they deep dive, and then there's Sci-Fi Remnant. There are deep dives, and then they deep dive on the deep dive. So there's they pull out some really cool stuff, and every once in a while I'm like, where the hell did that come from? But they figured it out, and it's a really good listen. One of my favorite pods. Please, guys, check it out. And then of course there is my Star Trek Sherpa, the one, the only Jesse from CrusherConvo. Jesse, who leads me in all ways of Trek when I have questions and I'm confused, I go to Jesse.
Does she lead you to boldly go where no Tim has gone before?
Yes, that's why I'm watching Trek to begin with.
Every time. No joke. Yeah, no, happy to be here. Won't be here for too long. I got some stuff. I just got off work, but I'm happy to help you out any way you can. I know some people are excited about Strange New World Season 3 after 23 months of waiting.
Yeah, what the heck was that about?
That's nothing in this day and age.
Right? Horrible. But anyways, I am Jesse from CrusherConvo podcast. You can find me on YouTube or any podcast app that you like to listen to as I deep dive Star Trek through the eyes of Dr. Beverly Crusher. And yeah, I have a lot of fun. I've been on Robert's show. Tim, I've been here, I don't know how many times I've lost count, but and nice to see Antonio here. But yeah, I'm super excited about having some new Trek to talk about. And very, very
absolutely
all around.
Yeesh. So if you haven't caught on tonight, we will be talking about Strange New Worlds. Yeah. So again, reminder, spoilers ahead. Spoilers. I can't say it enough. If you're still here, you're okay with spoilers, and thank you for being here. But before we go any farther, just real quickly want to say thank you to our show sponsors, because without our show partners, we don't do this show. So if you love coffee, check out Bones Coffee Company. If you use the code FSF PopCast on your order online, you'll get 10% off your order. If you like really fun, nerdy, geeky shirts, check out Idea Farm. If you use the code FSF15, you'll get 15% off your order. And then if you just like to whack people with light up sticks, go check out Level Up Savers, because they have some of the best savers on the market. Not to mention that their owner, Master Allen, is just an awesome guy and great for the nerd community. Please support him, not that bag of tools that calls himself Star Wars Theory. Anyway, so enough about him. But yeah, go check out, support the good people. Tonight, we are going to talk about Strange New Worlds. I'm only going to leave this graphic up here on it for just a second because it minimizes all of your beautiful faces too much and it's too hard to see. So, but yeah, Strange New Worlds Season 3. I am very excited about this. So much so that when Season 3 came out, I forgot that it had been 23 months since the last episode of Strange New Worlds and completely forgot about the storyline for Homogeny Part 1. Went back. I had to go back and rewatch that because I was like, oh yeah, that's how this got here and why they did this and why that yeah. So anyway, yeah, so Homogeny Part 2 is where we'll start off. Jesse, I'm going to start with you. I want to know what your initial reaction and thoughts are to this. It was quite a fast-paced episode. Lots going on, lots happening.
Yeah, so I really like that it just jumped right in. I kind of got best of both worlds vibes just because it ended like it began right where it ended, right? So
Right.
I was happy that they just kind of got to it instead of us having to wait for, whatever that they wanted to do. But as like you, I was also like, I don't remember. I kind of forgot about the colonists. I kind of forgot about the away team getting kidnapped. And so it was a lot going on. However, I did like the away team stuff. The moment they started going in, I was like, what the hell is going on? This is disgusting, but kind of cool. It gave me alien vibes, which I'm always for. But as it was continuing, I was still getting best of both world vibes, especially about how they eliminated the Gorn. I guess we can do quotes on that. But anyways, it was a lot of fun. Too much technobabble for me. I think probably the best in the scenes that I kind of like, that I kind of see wanted more of, is Palia and Scotty. I think that's kind of a friendship that I think will be developing more, and maybe that's why we get, Scotty's so good with his, engineering, and I think he learned a lot from Palia. I'm kind of excited about that, and then I'm also excited to see what's going to be happening with Batel and Ortegas, because I don't know. I don't think Batel's going to make it. I'm just going to I don't think it's going to end well. And who knows with Ortegas? I was like, is she going to be the Gorn from Arena? Like, is one of them going to be that? And Kirk has to fight them later. I have no idea, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But in my podcast, I gave it a 3.5 Gorns out of 5. It was good, but
nice.
Yeah, it was good. It wasn't great, but it was good.
Okay. And Tony, what are your thoughts on the episode?
So like overall, I liked it. Like you said, it's fast paced. And anytime there's like this iteration of the Gorn, like I'm all in. Super, aliens vibe, like you were saying, Jesse. My only real thing about it was, now they might have explained this and I might have missed it, right? But the whole subplot with it's been 23 months and I've forgotten the other captain's name. The love interest for Captain Pike. What's her name?
Patel.
Is that Patel?
Okay. Yeah, Captain Patel.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah. So like the whole subplot of trying to remove the Gorn from inside or whatever. Now, what I kind of like, was it like a creature growing inside of her? Was it like cells? And why couldn't they just like teleport it out of her instead of like doing whatever it was they were trying to do? Did I miss that? I don't know.
Just because I think it's just the way that the Gorn inhabit and attach to the host body. I think if you try to take them out, I think it kills them. So
I can give my 2 cents there, and
it.
Might not be at 100% accurate here, but I think if we were in the next generation era, that could have been possible because you have a record in buffer of every Starfleet officer. So all you got to do is just put it back in the buffer, remove whatever it is that is there, and then transport her back. But I think we're way too back in the past, and that technology is not available yet.
That makes sense.
Robert, I literally just talked about season 2, A Natural Selection, about how they brought Pulaski back from being old to back. So you're onto something. You're really onto something.
That works for me. Yeah. Okay.
Roll with it, Tim. Roll with it.
I'm rolling with it. I'm like, sure. I'm over here taking notes. Good talk. Okay. Yeah. Keep talking.
Yep. I'll give you episodes of where it worked out in TNG.
I feel like I'm just
Makes no sense, but it worked out.
and I say this with wearing bingo ears on my head. I feel like I'm the lab that's just excited that I got to go for the car ride. I haven't watched it yet. I'm so confused.
You will
You'll
be
still
until
be
you watch
confused
it.
when you watch it, Kathleen. So you'll be fine.
Well,
Not wrong.
I'm so glad I get to be included.
Yeah.
I've watched episode 1, Homogeny Part 2, like 3 times now, and I keep catching little things that I missed. And by the way, was anybody else like mad and yelling at their TV when they thought Erica Ortegas was going to die? Because that was me. I'm like, I was so mad. I'm like, you better not be killing her. If you kill her, I will throw this remote at the television. Not really.
I had
that
a
would be
feeling she
expensive,
wasn't going to die because she has been such a popular character. And I think she's been more popular than they thought she was going to be, because this happened very, very beginning of the writer's strike. They barely got anything taped. So I think they were probably planning on killing her off, because that ending seemed very fitting, where she was like, I'm Erica Ortegas, I fly the ship, and then she passes out. It almost seemed like that's what they were going for. But over these last 2 years, they're like, oh, she's a little more popular than we thought. So maybe we should, we're going to do something else. And I think that's why they're like, that's why it's only them from, the communicator just being like, Erica's stable, like they threw that in like last minute. So I think that's kind of what happened, which is fine with me. We want Mortegas, hashtag Mortegas. So
thank you, Open Pike Night, for that, by the way. Hashtag.
Exactly.
But
I felt like the plot armor was strong with her.
Yeah, I was a little worried about it, because I feel like in some form or fashion, this is Star Trek's version of Rogue One. Eventually, everybody in this cast has to die or get replaced, and because we have the TOS cast that's slowly getting introduced. The new versions of the characters. We now have Scotty on the ship. We already had Spock and Uhura, and so now we have Scotty, and I'm like, oh, okay. How long till we get Bones? How long till we get Sulu? How long till we get Chekhov? All these different things. So I'm kind of watching all this going, So yeah, I thought as soon as I saw her on the Gorn skewer, that she was pretty well skewered. See what I did there?
Oh.
See what I did there?
Terrible human being.
Rude.
All right, so let's talk about the Gorn themselves, because we see a lot of the Gorn in Homogeny Part 1 and 2. And there's even some of the Gorn in episode 2, the Wedding Bell Blues, or Matrimony Bell Blues, or something like that, whatever the title of the show was. The episode is something about bells and blues and weddings or something.
Wedding Bell Blues. You're right.
I was ready. Okay. So how do we feel about having the Gorn be used as much as they have over the first couple seasons? Oh, Jesse's like, pick me.
Pick me.
Go ahead.
All right. I think it's starting to get a little into Borg territory, where they're just using it a little too much. I enjoy the different way that they introduced the Gorn, because the Gorn was shown once in TOS, and it was just this really weird scene with Kirk. And so they really like, re-envisioned of what this, creature could be, and it being scary and horrible and very, like I said, alien and coming out of your body and all that stuff. Like, that's great. But they've done it so much that it's like, let's take a break. Let's, explore new worlds and try and figure out, other issues that they might be coming, across. When they keep using the same enemy constantly, it gets a little like, all right, now we're just
No, I get that.
overusing it a little bit. I enjoyed the Gorn. I'm just hoping we have a little bit of a break from them.
Yeah, I get that, because if you look at it, if they were fighting the Klingons or the Romulans every single episode, I can see how that might get a little,
Yeah, especially because these are only 10 episodes too. Like before, the old episodes, you get 26, and so there was more of a stretch. But since there are only 10 episodes, I think probably, and we're barely on season 3, I mean, half of it was about the Gorn these last 2 seasons. So I think that's where it's like, let's take a step back and start trying to figure out different stories that they can go to. I mean, there's probably other characters or other villains that they can bring up, or even, talk more about the Klingons. We've barely even touched the surface with them. And that was one of their biggest wars. So, yeah.
Okay. Robert, Antonio, what are your guys' thoughts on the Gorn?
Go for it, Robert.
I have a different perspective. I do understand where Jesse's coming from, definitely. I think my perspective comes from Trek as a whole. So if you grabbed every single movie and TV show, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys know, I did a rewatch with my wife because she had questions. And now I think I created a monster, because now she comes up with stuff before I even realized. But that being said, there's a lot of things in Trek, and I think we even had this discussion on our show, where, like, for example, Robert April, Garrett, all this, characters or races that we get maybe a paragraph across the entire Trek. And me as a fan, or should I say as a geek, a Star Trek geek, I want to know more. You go out and read books, you go out and look at comic books, but there's something to be said about watching it on TV or watching it on a movie. So my perspective is I'm enjoying the Gorn right now, because that's the most Gorn that I have had when you have the entire Trek put together. But I do understand Jesse. I think we need a break. But in the same coin, I'm excited because we got a lot, and now I'm ready to get like more of other Trek things that we don't know about. And it's kind of like in theory behind when the Lower Decks came out. I don't know if you guys remember, I was really excited because we barely got to see Lower Decks, and now we have an entire show where you get to explore that. So it's kind of like the same thing with the Gorn for me.
All right, very cool. Antonio?
I can see where they're both coming from. I think for me it's like a little bit simpler. The Gorn to me is just like a storytelling tool that is used, to, I guess, kind of further along Christina Wong's character, anytime like the Gorn are involved, it's just like that's, her trauma and coming forth. And so like she's like my favorite character on there. So then anytime she gets the spotlight, I'm happy. So
I get you. Yeah, they killed my favorite character season 1. You're still my boy, Blue.
Antonio, you have a point there, and I just realized that we might have a complete break, because La'an finally got over her trauma.
Mhm.
And we'll talk about this and it's in the next episode that we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I was actually going to talk about that, Robert. We could talk about it a little bit right now because I think one of the things I appreciate rather about what Trek is doing, not only the way that they're tying into some of the TOS storylines and trying to make sure that we have a nice merging point for continuity's sake, but I also like the way that they're handling some of the traumas and the things that people are going through, showing the realness of dealing with things, not just episodic television from because in the 60s when TOS was going, this really craptastic thing would happen in this episode, and the next episode everything's fine, everything's wonderful, there's no problems, everything is great. And so we're seeing more character development, I think, in this series than perhaps some of the others. Am I off base on this, guys, or where do you think about that?
100%.
They made this more, the show is episodic, but the characters have continuity.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think in that aspect is what makes it better, because they just kept doing it either or, right? You were either, all of it was continuity and it was just all like one storyline with the characters, or it was just episodic. So then we never saw those PTSDs. We saw a bit with, Picard and the Borg, but no one else. And that was all we saw. So I think them doing it this way, especially because it's such short seasons, it's nice to have that, because then we get to have different stories. And we don't have filler episodes. They're literally just stories that they're going through, but we do see those character develops because they're dealing with whatever they're going through. We're going to see it with Spock and Chapel, and we're seeing it with La'an, and probably with Batel because of what happened with her. So I think that was probably the best way that they could go by it, especially with the shorter seasons.
Okay. All right, Robert, any thoughts on that?
I agree 100%. It's really interesting because they are listening to the fans, and that's why they're doing an episodic. But the type of episodic that you get from the original to this is completely different. And I'm at the beginning, I am torn because I am happy that Trek is going back to its origins, but knowing how this is done slightly different, I actually appreciate it a lot more than for what it is, for the reasons that Jesse just mentioned. So I do agree 100%.
Okay. So technically, let's go back to the Gorn here for just a It's a kitty. Hi, kitty.
She was making a lot of noise in the back. So I was like, I think I'm just going to grab Beverly. Were we
There
talking
you go.
about
Somebody wants to be here too.
That's right.
Mhm.
So let's go back to the Gorn for just a quick moment. Now, we're in season 3. We're starting off season 3. Potentially, the Gorn could be asleep or just cast off to the side for a little bit. Do you think that they are gone now until TOS, or do you think we're going to see them sometime later in season 4 or 5?
We're definitely going to see them further on down the road. Like at the end of the second episode, I'm pretty much hinted at that, right?
A little bit, yeah. With what the Ortega sees in the window, yeah.
Yeah. So I think they're going to come back. I think it's going to be very unexpected, but yeah, I think they're going to show back up.
You think it's just going to like appear, like glitter? Just can't get rid of them.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah, boy. Yeah, it's going to be great. I think actually it's actually going to be pretty good.
Okay. I'm okay with that. Me being new to the Trekkerverse, it's not the Gorn in the rubber suit with the big giant lizard head throwing blind punches at Kirk because he can't see a thing out of that mask. It's this is the best that CGI can offer us with what they're doing with the Gorn, and it's scary and it makes me want to pay attention to it. So I'm hoping we do get Gorn. I don't want like every episode Gorn, but I do want I do want more Gorn. You know.
I think too that because they put him to sleep, like they did the Borg, they're basically going to be. It's going to be a pretty big, epic battle. I think whether it's going to be in season 4 or maybe even season 5, maybe that's how they end it. It's just like final story. Boom. This is how we're going to, because we're only going to get 6 episodes in their final season. And so I think it's going to piss. Yeah, we're only going to get 6 episodes. And I think there's a reason why for that. But I think because the Gorn are going to be pissed, right? Like they were pushed into that hibernation cycle, and then now they're going to go after the Federation completely. And the reason why I think there's only going to be 6 episodes is because the writer strike really pushed this out. So season 3, didn't start till now. And I think they're trying to finish Strange New Worlds before Alex Kurtzman's contract ends. And so they're trying to get that done before that happens. And so that's why they're like, we could only do 6 episodes. I'm hoping it's like 6 hour and 20-minute episodes.
Right.
We'll see. Yeah, but I think that's why if we didn't have this long gap, they would have probably been able to do 10 episodes and finish it off right. But because it was a very long wait, I think this is kind of like, let's go. So, I mean, they're already in the middle of almost done with season 4. Like they're trying to get this done prior to Alex being finished.
That actually makes a lot of sense to me. Okay. I get that.
So like,
all right.
I was gonna say, I feel like them putting the Gorn to sleep is like them putting a pause on that plot line. Like, all right, let's focus on other things, guys.
And I, from somebody who hasn't seen all of it, when you have a villain like the Gorn that people already know, it's easy to kind of put them on that back burner and be like, all right, we're going to get back to this because we have lore still. We have more things that we can use with this. And people are going to recognize them no matter how long it takes to get back to it. It's still going to be oh, right, that's the Gorn. And it kind of gets you to go back too with the wait. If it's been long enough, then you go back with the wait, well, where do they go? Why is this happening now? What led up to this? And you get people to go back and rewatch as well. But I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I'm gonna correct my.
No, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good take.
I feel like it's similar to what they do with Doctor Who, though, with like the Daleks and the Cybermen. People know those. Those are villains that we've known, that we've seen for 60 years almost. And it's you can keep bringing them back even when you think that you've defeated all of them, because there's always that one little like seed group off to the side. But same kind.
No, well, and this concept too, because we don't know what's going to happen with Patel and Ortegas. I mean, right now it's like rainbows and unicorns with Patel. They think, oh, she's fine.
She's not fine.
But she's not fine. No. Like if she's absorbing Gorn cells, like
I think she's going to get possessed.
Something's going to happen, especially because even using Una's blood, I'm like, is that going to like?
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
Powerful at some like
they're mutating
something. There's going to be a mutation. Yes, I feel like something's going to go on.
Yeah, because the Illyrian blood is has
augmented. It's genetically modified.
I mean, I guess Starfleet, plays it fast and loose with like experimental medication, experimental procedures. I don't know.
Well, this was all under the table, so
technically,
Starfleet doesn't know they did this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna put this image back up on the screen just for a hot second here, and we're looking across the people who are still with us on the ship. Now, of course, this doesn't show Pella or Scotty on it, but thank you, John. He's so proud of me. I'm talking Star Trek, and I'm actually kind of understanding what I'm talking about. This is scary to me too.
He's proud of you for having an image. He might be proud of you for image quality. That's not just a screenshot too.
Well, there's also that. Somebody put some thought into this. I don't want to say who it was. Anyway,
I will admit it's kind of weird that I could say something to you, and you're like, I know what you're talking about.
Trust me, it's weird to me too. As a guy who avoided Trek like the plague his whole life, and then all of a sudden I was like, I'll watch Trek. Yeah.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you, Prodigy.
Isn't it fun though when you can get Tim to admit that he was wrong, and you can suck him into the no, you were
Glorious.
wrong. Come on, embrace the fandom.
It's never happened any other time, so we're not going to talk.
No,
about it.
never,
All
ever. Animated Star Wars.
So
I can see who's causing some chaos around here.
all right, so looking at the cast of characters that we have in front of us, who do you believe will be the next to go? Because Hemmer's dead. I really do feel we're on a Rogue One trajectory where we're going to lose the majority of these characters, or they have to be replaced. And then when I say the next to go, I mean the next to go either because they either leave the ship and they're off of Enterprise and just done with the storyline, or they are killed in some form or fashion.
You know, it's easier for me to say who stays.
Mhm.
Okay, so who do you think stays? Other than Spock.
Ow,
Because-
man.
Uhura.
Because the thing is, that I'm taking TOS as a reference, right? If we know TOS, if we take TOS as a reference, then you
Sure.
know Chapel is there. We know Uhura is there. We know Spock is there. We know Pike is there. Una- Well, you know, yeah, you're right.
It's a start.
Kind of there. He's there yet, yeah. Una is there. And Benga is there. So that leads Ortega's in Luan?
Yeah, but she's got the namesake.
Yeah.
Oh, the con name?
Mm-hmm. She's got the namesake. She's okay. I think it's every
I don't-
the first two people on the right. Doctor and
I don't know that the
Well, I
namesake
mean,
is enough
Mbenga
to
was
carry
in
her through.
TOS.
Yes.
It just depends on when he leaves.
Mhm.
I mean, everyone on there. The only one we just don't know is Una, Ortegas, or La'an. Those are really the only three characters that we are not very much sure of what happens. Yes, Tim, you have a question in the back there?
I do. Mbenga's in TOS?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
Oh,
he
yeah?
is.
I did
Yeah.
not know that. 100% had no clue. I don't know where or how I missed. Was that like season 1?
Because you haven't watched enough of it.
It was the
Ooh.
was it called the Ultimate Computer?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That has to be season 1, right?
It all bleeds together.
All right, I'll have to do some research on that, but
But no, yeah, that's why the only three characters that we just are not sure those three: Ortegas, Una, and La'an. Now, Una, of course, was a character that they already kind of established, but it was just in the pilot, and then that was scrapped. So they could do whatever they want with her. But Ortegas and La'an are totally new characters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I fear that Ortegas is going to be the first to go, in the sense of whether they do kill her off or she's going to go somewhere else. I think La'an's going to stick it out probably a little bit longer, but even with the con name, I could see her just like sacrificing herself because of the con name. Like she is trying to, you know.
oh man, I hope not.
I know. I
Look
know.
at that.
Look at
TOS
that.
Mbenga.
Mm.
I'll be
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, A Private Little War and That Which Survives were the TOS episodes.
Thank you. Season 3, episode 17 is the Witch Survives, and A Private Little War is season 2, episode 16.
You know, that might be why I didn't see it, because I kind of petered out about halfway through season 2.
No.
I had enough of
Shocked.
TV Kirk, and I was like, and done. So-
What is wrong with you?
Oh my God.
yeah, and so I moved on to TNG. I was like, yeah, we're done here.
And then Tim had to go on my show, and I made him watch more Kirk.
It's understandable.
And
It
you
really
missed
very
is.
rude.
You also missed the cartoon.
It was a good episode, though, Tim. It's not like I made
It
you
was.
suffer.
It was. No complaints. No complaints. No, John, I will not be going back and watching all of Shatner and his Shatnerific glory. You know,
What if
I
you
don't
watch
like.
stuff, you find the seam in the toupee.
I like movie Kirk. I don't like TV Kirk. It's not news to anybody.
Tiki Kirk
But-
says nice things about you.
TV Kirk does nothing nice about me.
You don't know that. He might in one of the episodes that you haven't watched.
TV Kirk might think I'm a green woman and be confused, and
Then he really likes you.
I was gonna say he will never.
Robert's
forget you.
like, I think I'm on the wrong show.
Hold on.
With chaos, I'm good.
Yeah.
I was gonna
This
say
is true.
Robert's like, this is a normal Tuesday.
This is a vacation. This is a vacation for Robert.
He's like, I've got Captain Chaos on my show. This is mild. We're good.
Yeah.
No, Gio's a good dude.
Yeah.
All right. So briefly, before we get into, I know Kathleen before we go into episode 2, Kathleen, you said you needed to give a shout out to somebody. You
I
want to do that now?
need to give a shout out. So anybody local in the greater Tri-City area, not owned by Dr. Doofenshmirtz, in the Midland Saginaw Bay City area of Michigan, needs to go check out One Love Smoothie and Taco Company in the Midland Mall. The owner, Ryan, and I got talking last week when we went there. He is trying to get this business up and running. And I mean, it's a little risky starting a restaurant and a food court in a mall. I mean, malls are not exactly the things that are big and popular anymore. But the Midland Mall is up and coming. It is going back to its 80s glory. It's beautiful.
Yes.
The owner has actually, they are building a 5-level, 40-foot tall play structure called Maltopia. It is, it's huge. It's gorgeous. It is absolutely fantastic. If I thought about it, I would have gotten pictures to show you guys.
Is it built big enough for us chunky kids?
It is. Well, yes and no. So the recommendation for it is 250 pounds per person.
Per
person.
If we kick out the skinny kids, us chubby kids can play.
There's that. Actually, when the owner posted on Facebook that they were building this thing, and he was talking about the age limits for it and the weight limits, and there were a bunch of parents who were like, "Hey, what about us? Oh, we want to go in that." And his answer was you have to go and follow your kids, make sure they don't get lost. So I think it's fair that means the parents get to go in it. But
Yay.
One Love Smoothie and Taco Company, it is the best tacos I have had outside of somebody's abuela making them for me. Because there's nothing like home cooked. But Ryan is this really, really sweet dude. He was really sweet with me and my daughter. He was very understanding of the tiny human's picky nature and she just wants a flour, tortilla, taco meat, cheese, nothing else, don't make it fancy. And I have never seen my child devour a taco like that either. Like,
nice.
It was a big taco and she had like 2 bites left that she's like, I can't. I want to and I can't. Like,
love it.
So yes, anybody in the Midland area, go check it out. It is delicious. You will not regret it. I'm also going to find pictures of Maltopia to message to Tim really quick so that he can share later if possible.
Okay, cool.
Can I do a little, I don't know if I want to call it a shout out, but just a recognition. I don't know if you guys saw on here, but Malcolm Jamal Warner had passed away today.
I saw that, yeah.
Of course.
Very sad.
As everyone here, we all grew up with him, us millennial kids, especially elder millennial and Gen X. So I just wanted to say, I'm just devastated with his loss. It's such a tragedy of what happened. And he was such an amazing person. And if you actually guys go on his Threads account, one of the last posts he put was something very inspirational. And that was just kind of his character. And so I kind of wanted to mention that real fast. But yeah, such a loss for us. So
seemed like a good dude.
He was amazing. Yeah, such a great dad.
That sucks.
Shame.
And yet Bill Cosby's still walking the earth. Okay, so all right.
Right. I know. Jeez.
All right. Let's move on into Go ahead.
I sent you the picture.
Okay, cool. I'll pull that up here in just a few minutes. let's go on into episode 2, because I know that Jesse was, I don't think was probably planning on staying this long, but we have her here, and I'm going to keep going. But episode 2, it's called Wedding Bell Blues, and it should have just been like, welcome back to the queue.
I feel vindicated.
You feel vindicated?
You feel vindicated?
Vindicated.
You're not alone, man.
I always said Trelane is Q. Trelane is Q. And I always got pushed back. Half the people said, no, it's not Q. And oh my God. You know, people listen to their fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We do.
Oh, this has been such a fan theory for so long, probably since TNG. And the thing is that confirming it, I remember, and I even put my reaction on social media, but I'm listening to it, I'm watching it, and I hear John Delancey has such a unique voice. And when I heard it, I'm all, what? Huh? Wait, what? I'm like, what the hell? It was just a perfect. And then I heard the snap to bring back, and I was like, gotta have the snap.
Yeah.
So that was such a good surprise. I mean, we all, I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I was watching, I was like, this has to be Trelane. It has to be Trelane. The guy, you know, it's just what it, but the key part.
Amazing. The casting was amazing. If you put a picture side by side, they're completely different actors.
Yeah.
But it's just like,
the character, yeah, it was just perfect.
Yeah, Reese Darby. Yeah, he's an amazing actor. As soon as I saw Reese Darby on screen, I was like, oh, what's he gonna do? You know.
I mean, I was hella confused in the beginning. I was like, is this a dream? What is happening? But as things were going on and he was like changing the flowers and all of a sudden I was like, oh, he's acting like Trelane. That's probably who this is. And yeah, it was just a great surprise. But I think I gave this 4 wedding bells out of 5. I enjoyed it. But I really did not like how Chapel did Spock dirty.
Oh, for sure.
I was pissed.
I'll say that I am happy that we are done with the Spock Chapel rom-com that we had going for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I was very happy that kind of
which allows for my ship to come in.
I like how the people just keep going and you're like, love it. Okay. Yeah, now when I watch this, I didn't have the name Trelane, that didn't mean a whole lot to me. But I was watching it going, I think this dude's a Q. Because it was the snapping of the fingers. I didn't get that the first couple snaps. It didn't click in my head that's what was going on. And I think it was about the time of the flowers, because there was the wedding snacks, and then the flowers back to back, the instant snaps, and then watching everything change. And I was like, oh.
Because we didn't actually witness him change reality, right?
Right. It just happened.
Yeah, he gave him that drink and he went to go sleep. And then when he woke up, reality had changed. So
yeah.
But when he's sleeping, you hear a snap.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember hearing that.
Well, if you go back and watch it,
I'll check it out again. Because I definitely got to watch this too again for sure.
While Spock is laying there in his perfectly still, I don't move Vulcan sleep, you hear a snap in the distance.
I think for me is once Spock sits down and you look out the reflection and you see a Vulcan, and then they pan over and you obviously clearly see it's not a Vulcan. That threw me off. And then I was looking, and that's the reason why I was saying casting was great, because I saw Trelane immediately. And that's what's like, these people deserve whoever did the casting for it. Because I saw it, I was like, oh my God, please tell me this is Trelane. And throughout the whole, that's where the thing started for me, where I'm like, okay, this has to be Trelane. And eventually, I eventually, once he started doing the snapping and all this stuff, I was like, yeah, this is Trelane. And then when at the end, when you have Q actually
Oh yeah, thank
come
God.
into the scene, it's for me, it was like, when you have your favorite football team win the Super Bowl. Yeah, I got off my chair and I was yelling and screaming, and yeah, that was for me. That was
Ro-
that was vindication.
Robert, I'm a Dolphins fan, so I don't know what that.
I don't know what that feels like.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, but I feel I imagine it's great. I imagine it's a good
I
feeling.
imagine it's great.
I
Imagine it's great.
don't follow
As
sports.
Lions fans, we also understand.
I don't follow sports. The only reason why I know that reference is because my daughter is she's a Dolphins fan too, and she's always screaming and yelling, and I'm like, okay, that looks cool.
The screaming and yelling, that's what it's all about.
That happens to me with Star Trek, so yeah, we have something in.
I do have a question for you guys. I'm curious, why do you think that Corby was the only one that remembered? Do you think they're foreshadowing something later, or do you think it was just Trelane's cruel joke for him to watch this going down?
He really didn't like that guy. I don't know. I think it has something to do with emotions, maybe.
Yeah, that shows Trelane, because Trelane is very like childlike. Like he will look at someone, he doesn't like him, so it doesn't take the time to learn to understand this person. He just doesn't like him,
Right.
and that's it. And we can see that from that Trelane episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I
goes very
promise that's
childlike, especially at the end when he's when Q steps back in.
He's in
and,
trouble.
He's in trouble. Dad.
It's like 8,020, Dad.
I promise my comment was actually relevant, Tim. It was, I promise. I was behaving this time.
You can watch TOS or all of Discord's story arc in My Little Pony.
Discord's voiced by John Delancey. He is the god of chaos in My Little Pony.
That makes sense.
He's Q in My Little Pony. It's fantastic.
He always
Interesting.
is.
All right. No, I know who Trelane is now. I didn't recognize him by name. And when I looked him up online, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that episode. I remember that guy. Okay. But yeah, excellent casting. And again, anything with Rhys Darby in it, I am willing to sit down and watch because, yeah, I think he's just fantastic.
I also think too that this episode really showed, like, as I said, I did not like how Chapel did not give Spock a heads up of, hey, this is what was going on. She knew he was on the ship, so just to show up with her date was very cruel. But in the end, because Corby and him had to figure things out, in the end, he knew the other great emotion besides rage was love. So he knew if Chapel snaps out of this because of her love for Corby, then that was his confirmation, like, oh, she really does love him. And like La'an said, she's like, your love, you gave her up because you do love her. And that was a selfless act. And so I think that was a good way for him to kind of confirm of like, okay, this is just not going to work out and he's going to move on. But again, I just wish they didn't do it that way. But it was still a fun episode. There was still a lot going on. And then, of course, the really, really big surprise at the end with Ortegas and the Gorn shadow. So I guess we'll kind of find out where that's going to lead.
Jesse, I have a question for you in that statement. I agree with you 100%. I totally wrong from the moment they broke up and how she keeps doing Spock wrong. I agree 100% on that. And I wonder if that would be the reason why, if you go back to TOS, you notice how Nurse Chapel treats Spock. Very subtle. And it kind of makes sense in my head, but that's a question that I want to pose here to everybody here who actually seen the Nurse Chapel and Spock in TOS.
All right, I'll shut up.
Right.
So everyone but Tim. Okay.
Their interaction makes a lot of sense. Now, when I look at it from this episode's perspective, it sounds like she has regret.
Oh yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. And I think too, and I've even mentioned this, like from what was what are little girls made of? She loved Corby and she was so happy to see him. So for whatever reason they broke up, she never stopped loving him. But seeing Spock and working with him again and stuff, I think her feelings kind of came back, and she knew there was nothing she could do because she did do him so dirty. And I think also because Spock was like, then ended up putting up those walls and really trying to push his human side out because he didn't like those feelings of being hurt. He didn't like that. So he really became Vulcan. And I think this was the catalyst with what happened with Chapel. So I think this is exactly a perfect little segue of going into TOS. And that's why Chapel never really said or did anything, because she didn't feel like she had the right to.
See, I didn't.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Robert, you look like you were like, hallelujah.
oh, that's deep.
Validating everything. It makes so much sense.
It really does.
Robert's up front in the church. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. I was right.
Praise. Yes.
I was trying to look some things up and be like, can I disagree with this? No, I really can't.
Mm-mm.
No.
This is why I'm the Trek Sherpa.
Well, here's the thing. So I never caught on to the Chapel side of it, but I did catch on to the Spock side of it because he was trying all these things to be his, explore his humanity, the human side of him. But when we see him in TOS, he is very straight-laced, very Vulcan, very, he's kind of pushed some of that humanity off to the side and focusing, and it's like he closed himself off,
So
because of whatever happened here.
Because you can't get hurt that way. If you don't let people
Yeah.
in, they can't hurt you.
That's what people do. I mean, like that's what us humans do, right?
I feel like
might
it is like
actually
the most human thing that Spock does too.
Exactly.
And you know,
Nail on the head kind of thing. Yeah.
it's to the point of a joke, because everybody that knows him, right? Kirk knows him, Bones knows him, and whenever he behaves that way, you notice how they react around. Like, yeah, you're not excited. They know he's excited inside, but
Right.
he's trying because of that trauma.
Mhm.
We are who we are today because of the experiences we have in the past, and that's what happened to him.
I actually just today was wearing a pair. This is ridiculous, but back on the trauma thing, I was wearing a pair of socks I stole from my husband that says "Thanks, it's the trauma" on them. Like that's how we cope with things too. Is we cover it in humor. After you get past that shell shock, gonna shut everybody out, shut everything down. And I feel like Spock, you do have those glimpses of Spock still, that he does have those moments where you're like, wait a minute, you are a person. And now it's gone again. Never mind. But like, yeah, it is definitely the most human thing he does, is pretending he's not human.
And
Right,
I think that was one of the biggest issues in TOS, because, depending on when McCoy slips into the story, that part bothered him so much. He wanted to see Spock
Mm-hmm.
show emotion. He was all like, don't you feel anything? And Spock is just very...
Yes.
However, if Kirk was involved, he was just like, this is Spock. Because we already know Kirk is already in this environment in Strange New Worlds. So he, over time, learns about just how Spock went from A to B.
Mm-hmm.
McCoy didn't. And so that was one, and that's why it was very racist of McCoy to just treat him that way and badly. And so he never really took the time. Sometimes, he'll crack jokes here and there and stuff like that, but there was still an issue between their relationship. And even in TNG, when it first was the very first episode, he was kind of making fun of Data. McCoy was, where he was like, you remind me of a Vulcan I once knew, right? And so still, he just never understood, but Kirk did.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is definitely a path that they're purposely going on. And there is one particular episode, I saw it in the trailer, I think it was a sneak peek, whatever, where there's like some kind of transporter accident. I don't know, but the crew turned Vulcan. We'll find out here in this season. And they're extremely racist because it's like, well, we're fully Vulcan and you're only half. And I think that's also going to be pushing Spock even more into like, I don't want to be human anymore. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And by the way, I'm sorry.
Sorry. I was going with, is it racist or speciesish?
Yes, both.
Whatever you want to call it.
It's
It's also
very
way
ist.
easier
It's
to
finest.
say racist than it is to say speciesist.
Bingo. All right, let me ask you guys this question, because we're seeing all these character developments, and then the way that people are, the characters are developing, and the characters are getting. We're becoming so much more familiar with each one of these characters and developing attachments to them. Some of these characters, as we know, are on a timeline.
Characters are on a timeline.
Like Captain Pike. Captain Pike is definitely on a timeline before his accident. The fact that he's aware of it and he, everything that's going on. What are your feelings about Pike and his journey? How do you think that's being handled by Anson Mount?
Just fine. I mean, like we don't know when or where it's going to happen, right? Or do we just know like it's going to happen sometime in the future?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do we have a specific date?
10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a specific date.
Yeah.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess in context of the show, like, were we even going to reach that point? Is that going to be like the finale? Like,
Mm.
Well, yeah,
yeah,
it's supposed to be a
series finale.
5-year journey, and how much of the 5 years are we seeing? So
Right.
It's interesting to me because I believe that the accident happened. Didn't it happen after he left the Enterprise?
The accident happens, and then that's the reason why he leaves the Enterprise, I think. Right?
I thought it was the reason he left
But
the
the
Enterprise.
Yeah.
I thought it was the reason he left as well. So
Yeah. But I don't think it. But I think
Chris Pine
because
after.
Right. Depends
Yeah,
on which
yeah.
story arc.
I know which one,
You're in.
Kelvin Universe or Prime. The thing is I
Not
think
Kelvin.
for
Don't like Calvin, Tim?
no, actually, I really enjoy the Kelvin timeline. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, based on the timeline that we're seeing in the television series,
right.
that would not be
It's
Kelvin.
not
Mhm.
Yeah.
correct. I think though, in this
That's something
sense,
right.
because
You're on a roll tonight.
you're on a roll. The thing is like I don't know, because Pike knows his path. He can't, just by little changes, he can't alter that. So even though it was supposed to be 10 years, because of certain decisions that he make, he might reduce it to 5.
That makes sense.
So we don't know exactly where it could end like this, or it's going to be quicker, because he wasn't supposed to know, right? This was a whole oopsie. And that's where he had to like try and be like, okay, I'm going to be doing this and knowing that this is going to be my future. Okie dokie. But every single decision he makes will change his future. So
I love it. Oh boy.
Meeper's gonna
so
meet.
so I think that might be happening a little bit.
Mhm.
So a really crappy choose your own adventure. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So let me ask you this one last question, and then we're gonna start working into our sign off here. Moving forward, what do you hope to see, and who do you think is going to be the next classic character brought into the show? Antonio, we'll start with you.
Let's
Classic
see.
character.
Classic character. Oh no, that's hard to say. Have we gotten Spock's dad right? Have we gotten Spock's dad in this? I can't remember. Like,
I don't think so.
I think we're getting Spock's
so.
dad. I think we'll get Spock's dad.
Okay.
No,
We got Amanda.
Sarek.
We did get Amanda,
Okay.
but not. I don't think we've gotten Sarek.
Yeah. We got the mom. We didn't get the dad.
Yeah, we'll get dad.
Okay. Robert, what about you? What do you think what classic character is coming next? And do you have anything you're looking forward to or hoping we'll see in this season?
I think I am with Jesse here. I am hoping to see Bones. I want to see Bones. I don't know who we're gonna get next, but I want to see Bones.
I agree.
That's fair.
Okay.
Robert stole my
Yes.
answer, so it's fine.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I just have a thing
I'm-
for doctors. No, I think Bones is the next logical choice, but it would, and I don't think we would have Chekhov because I think he had started in TOS, so I don't think it would be Chekhov at all. It would be interesting though if we got Sulu.
Sulu
That's
would
who
be-
I'm
So-
hoping for.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I think, like I said, logical would be Bones, but Sulu would be interesting, especially because we don't know what's going to be happening with Ortegas. Like, do we get Sulu because something happened to Ortegas?
That's what I'm
might be.
expecting is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I think that like we talked about earlier, there was the fear that they were going to kill off Ortegas, but then later on I was like, well, we got to get Sulu somehow.
Right.
And are they going to do that later in the season or in season 4 where we lose Ortegas and we pick up Sulu?
Mm-hmm.
So, how's that going to, or does Sulu come in with Kirk when it's and he brings in his own pilot because that's,
Mm-mm.
Those are very good questions, and I think Tim, you might be on something there because if I'm looking back at the crew of Pike from the original TOS, there was no Sulu.
correct.
So
I knew that one. I knew that. So excited. I knew that.
But Jesse, Sulu might be the most logical because if you know from the TOS and Menga and Bones are both doctors, so
Right.
if Bones comes in, it would have to be like a special appearance. It couldn't be on the crew because it's not time for Mbenga to leave the Enterprise yet.
Mhm.
Or maybe
Yeah,
we get Yauman, what's her name?
The yeoman. Oh,
Yeoman,
yeah.
Oh,
I forgot about her.
Janice.
Janice.
Yeah, she's got like the waffle weave thing going on top of her
She's
head.
got the beehive going. Yeah.
I met her in Miami in one of the Star Trek conventions.
Oh, nice.
She was the sweetest
Nice.
grandma. Oh my God, I wanted her to be my grandma.
Verified at a Star Trek convention and not just like that's normal in Miami.
She's
Oh,
no
man.
longer
that's
alive
horrible,
though,
people.
right? She has
Yeah.
passed.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's passed.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
literally
a lot
all
of-
we have left is Shatner and
Sulu and Chekhov.
mhm.
Yeah, those three. That's what I thought. Okay. All right. Well, there's a lot going to be happening, and maybe after a couple episodes we'll reconvene, and maybe if you guys are interested in coming back, we can talk a little more about what's happened in the season moving forward, and kind of see were any of our thoughts and feelings and ideas correct, or did they give us the slip and kind of go off the other direction, which
Would surprise me.
wouldn't surprise me at all. I expect the end of season 4 and season 5 to be the wrap up and the shoot off into TOS. I think we'll have some,
Mhm.
I expect jaunting stories here and there and everywhere until we get to that point. But I think the last couple
Yeah.
episodes of 4 and then going into 5 is when we're going to see the real build up and ramp up to connect the storylines to, we're getting pieces and parts here, but I think that's when the real heavy work is going to be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Maltopia picture. I completely forgot.
I know because
Okay,
you don't
hold
love
on.
me.
Well, there's also that, but that wasn't the real reason. Just
Hurt.
forgot. Hold on, I'm bringing it up.
And then he's gonna see the other message in that chat and he's gonna be really mad at me.
I'm choosing not to look at the other ones. Let's see. Share screen.
I may have just messaged Tim and handy dandy producer John in the middle of the show that I have a theory that Tim just likes bossy women.
Man.
I mean,
But yes, that's Maltopia. That is the artist rendering, obviously, for Maltopia. But
Holy crap.
I know
Pretty wild.
it
Holy
is
crap.
incredible in person.
Wow.
That is
that
like
is
a
pretty big.
bouncy house on steroids.
Yeah, and it's got a
ama-
full ball pit in it.
Steroids and maybe even a little
Looks like they got a
cocaine. All right.
few of them. Holy, yeah, just a little bit.
All
I
right, so
actually
let's-
need to go.
Now I was gonna say, Jesse, go ahead and get out of here. Thank you so much for being here. Jesse is
Awesome.
the person behind CrusherConvo. She is our Star Trek Sherpa. We absolutely love her. Please go support her pod. Really cool pod.
She's way nicer than Tim.
She is way nicer than me. Most people are. So
dentists are nicer than Tim.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was loads of
Absolutely.
fun. I gotta go. Take care.
See you later. I'll see you,
See you
Jesse.
later.
Oh, look.
Nice
look.
to meet you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, and as a wrap up here, just as a reminder, our episode this week, our interview is with the showrunners of the show Murderbot, Chris and Paul Weitz, amazing brothers who have done some really, really cool movies like Golden Compass, About a Boy. Chris is a co-writer for the movie Rogue One. Paul did Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Which is just one of my all-time favorite movies. And
but what you're telling us is
this
episode is Tim just nerding out over and over and over.
Actually, I did a really good job of holding it down. I was pretty proud of myself. And then they're also the creative geniuses behind the American Pie series, which came out in 1999 when I graduated high school in 1995. And it's based in Grand Rapids. It's supposedly, East Great Falls is based on East Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is 40 minutes north of me. So, it's a town that I'm very familiar, or south of me rather, town that I'm very familiar with. Yeah.
Felt like your public education was failing you there for a second.
Yeah, I went to public schools. It is what it is. Anyway, that is out now on all your favorite podcast platforms, and you can check it out here, of course, on our YouTube channel as well. Now, this is already up on our Patreon channel. But you can check out our interview with Alex Malari Jr. from Dark Matter, Ginny and Georgia, and the Adam Project. That comes out this Wednesday for public consumption. But if you want to be one of our Patreon members, you can, of course, get early access for as little as $3 a month. 3 George Washingtons. That gets you early access. And you get all the backlog of all the behind-the-scenes content that nobody else gets to see because it's on our Patreon channel. And so go check that out. And there's some really cool behind-the-scenes conversation between Alex and I, talking a lot about tacos of all things. There's a whole story there. So go check that out, and that'll be out. And also on our Patreon is next week's. So this upcoming Wednesday. Also, already have next week's episode out on Patreon with a guy named Ian Polk, who's a great actor who was in The Punisher and An American Pickle and The Better Sister and a lot of other cool things going on right now. So, go check that out. And there's a lot of cool stuff on the Patreon. Remember, only $3 a month. Link down in the show notes down below. Also,
that's $2 less than a whole Abraham Lincoln.
Exactly. All right, and basically that's all, folks. That's all we got for tonight.
Spending too much time with my child. Somebody save me.
But for Antonio and Robert, I put their Instagram handles down in the show notes down below. Please go check these guys out. They're doing the Lord's work out there. They're doing some good stuff. Robert and his crew are doing the heavy lifting for the deep dives and bringing out some really cool stuff. They break down the science of the sci-fi. And I couldn't be happier with their episodes, and I think that you will be as well. And go check out Antonio over at Terra Alpha. You can see his. He's got now. If I'm understanding, the whole show isn't out yet, right? Antonio, they're doing vignettes and things, and some teaser stuff to get us used to the universe.
Yeah, exactly. And we've already finished recording the first couple of episodes, and we've already got the prologue pretty much put together. We're just waiting and biding our time. It'll be like
wait 23 months for it, are you?
No, it'll probably be like because of the amount of time and effort and little paying attention to every little detail. It takes a minute to get an episode out, so we're looking about like an episode a month kind of thing.
Cool.
The type of performances we get from our actors, we want to make sure it's good before we put it out.
Major networks could really take some notes from you guys.
I got a phone number.
Hey, remember, guys, the Terra Alpha audio drama is just that. It's an audio drama. It's not just guys sitting around pontificating. It's an actual story being told, different actors for the parts and everything. So there's a lot of moving pieces here that Antonio, as we talked about earlier, he's trying to herd some cats over there. So we're trying to help him. Go follow him at Arc Project over on Is it Arc Project Official or is it just Arc Project? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
it's like over there at Instagram.
At the
I believe
IG.
it's over there at the Art Project Official, I believe.
Yeah.
So
Whatever
I
it is, it's
have a-
written down properly in the show notes. I know that much.
I do have
I
a
copied
small
it right from your page.
about it before we actually go too
Yeah.
far. So, with it being an audio drama, are you going like full old radio version, like with the sound effects and?
Oh yeah, we're actually looking to achieve a cinematic experience.
I love that.
Yes, so
Fully
yeah,
immersive audio. Nice.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of
Nice.
like what you're looking for. You know, we won't disappoint.
There was
Nice.
actually just an audiobook I
Epic.
was listening to that they did a full, and they referred to it as a movie in your head. And I mean,
Yeah.
it had the music, the sound effects, the whole 9 yards. It was fantastic.
Yeah, we have we have a composer, we have
Awesome.
audio engineers. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm
one of my
really forward
that's
to
one
that.
of the things I love about Star Wars audiobooks right now is that they are very audio immersive. And also Gary Whitta, who is one of the co-writers for the movie Rogue One, former guest of our show, he wrote a book called Gundog, and he did that as an audio drama, fully immersive, voice actors, the whole 9 yards.
Mhm.
And that's very cool to check out. That's actually out as a podcast where you can listen to the whole thing. So if you just type in Gundog, which is a really cool story, by the way, you guys should check that out. So,
Yeah, the
anyway,
last book I listened to that way, it was like silverware clinking on plates, even as they're
Yeah.
at like a dinner party.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's a really, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, just little minute details like that really sells the experience, and that's
It
kind of
really
what
does.
we're looking to replicate. Absolutely.
Love it. All right, guys. Thank you, everyone who has watched or listened, and everybody who put in comments tonight. Thank you so much for being
You're
here
welcome.
for the FSF Popcast, even to Kathleen and her Maltopia picture. So, on that note, Antonio, thank you. Robert, thank you. Jesse, thank you so much for being here as well. She had to bounce out a couple minutes earlier, but we are so glad to have all three of you guys here. And on that note,
Pleasure.
may the force be with you as you continue to live long and prosper. Goodbye.
Bye.
Copyright 2025 FSF Podcast. Reference any specific product or entity mentioned on this podcast does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by FSF Podcast. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. If you have any questions about this disclaimer, please contact us via email at info@fsfpopcast.com.